happy Thanksgiving.
Okay. Have a nice day.
You too.
The home of the Devils takes center stage. Welcome inside Wells Fargo Arena, buzzing with electricity. The 212th meeting on the hardwood. Arizona against Arizona State. Good evening, everybody. I'm Trey Bender. This is the most intriguing matchup between these two schools in a long time. ASU rejuvenated with Herb Sendek at the helm on an 8-game winning streak. Arizona reeling a little bit. Jared Bayless warmed up, will not play, it appears, but they're still waiting and say it's a game-time decision. It's a state divided. It's households sometimes split, and even analysts can't get along. As we check in with our guys, Tom Kuiper and Bob Elliott.
And well, Bob, I'm going to go first, and come on, why not? ASU's in first place right now.
Oh, you had to go there, didn't you? But hey, how's it look from the penthouse right now?
I tell you, it's great, and ASU is loving being in first place, and a lot of that is because of this freshman coming in, James Harden. He has all of a sudden emerged as a leader. He's leading ASU in scoring, number 6 in the Pac-10 in scoring. He does it all. He goes hard to the hole, he shoots from the outside, and he does a great job of getting the ball into the basket. This guy is a great player, and ASU is excited to have this guy.
You know, Harden is definitely the offensive force for the Devils. For Arizona, Chase Buninger. Chase is in a situation that every player dreams of. The coach wants him to be selfish. He wants him to shoot the ball every time he touches it. But what he has to do, he might have to score 30 points, but he's also need about 8 assists so he can get everybody involved on the Wildcat roster.
Well, Bob, this may be his dream, but tonight I think this is going to be his nightmare. Hey, Trey, let's go back to you.
Gonna have to break you guys up. It is a raucous crowd here at ASU. The young stars will be in the spotlight tonight for the Cats and the Devils. Devils look to go 3-0 and stay atop the Pac-10 standings. The Cats have a 12-game series win streak on the line. The duel in the desert coming up next. ASU U of A on FSN. Tip-off coming up next from Tempe. Look at the lineups first for Arizona, Bob.
Well, for Arizona, the guy to watch is Jordan Hill, second from the left, number 43. When he gets in the early foul trouble, there's no one else on their roster that can come in and play at the level that he does. He's the key for Arizona to make sure he stays on the floor.
Kevin O'Neill rejoined the staff May 1st, defensive-minded, man-to-man coach, named as Lute Olson's successor when Lute decides to step aside. Fourth big-time college head coaching job, also stints at Northwestern, Tennessee, and Marquette included in that, his coaching experience in the NBA. Now the Arizona State lineup. Tom Kuiper.
Well, let's take a look at these guys. This is a good 5 right here. You're seeing Derek Glasser on the far end coming in, starting. He's been playing really well. But the guy you got to watch for, we talked about, James Harden, the freshman out of Artesia, California, number 6 in the Pac-10 in scoring. He's leading ASU in scoring, and then also Jeff Pendergraft, the guy in the middle.
Big strides in the second season here for Herb Sendek, a veteran with attention to detail in all facets of the program. He's averaged 19 wins per season in his career. Time now to look at the Arizona game plan, Bob Elliott.
First and foremost, Jordan Hill must stay on the floor. He cannot get in the early foul trouble. Second is contain Harden. Young man is scoring well. You can't let him get off, especially in a rivalry game. And third but not least, must take care of the basketball for the whole game. No more than 14 turnovers.
And on the other side, Tom's game plan for the Devils.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. You got to use that zone defense that Herb Sendek is putting. It's a complicated defense, but they're going to extend out and try and frustrate U of A. The next thing, get James Harden the ball. ASU has a lot of sweet touches on the floor, is what they call them. If they can get James in those spots, then he's going to be good to go. So, Trey, if they can do that, these guys are going to be good tonight.
Let's hear from Devils coach Jeff Pendergraft. He talks about emotion and passion in that part of the game.
I'm not going to play with my emotions, I'm going to play with passion, so that's a big difference. I mean, some people, like a lot of the fans, they're emotional, so they're going to be all crazy and their emotions are just going to take control, but like if you're passionate about it, you're still going to be intense the whole time, and when things start getting bumpy, you're not going to let that control you. You're going to stay focused and you're going to be you the whole time.
He is their key in the middle. Jody Jackson joins us tonight. She's in a raucous ASU student section, and they have come to life this season, Jody.
Well, you're right, and
love the atmosphere of college basketball, and they finally have that color here, the excitement in Tempe they've been longing for.
Yeah, that's the way college basketball is supposed to be. And, you know, when you look around the arena in here, Trey, there's a lot of gold T-shirts, and that makes it a lot of fun for these guys to be playing.
Now, that soundbite from Pendergraft is big time, because the difference between passion and emotion can put a guy out of his normal element. And when the crowd, like now, is packed, this is the first time some of these guys have seen a full house here, will they play with emotion, the ASU players, instead of passion, and create some errors that they didn't plan on doing?
Cats in the visiting Blues. Pendergraft against Hill, and it's tipped back to Wise. Ship trying to track it down, and it's going the other way to the Cats. So right from the get-go, you can see the emotion. It's going to take a while for these kids to wind down out there.
And you watching Jaron Ship going after that ball, and that's usually not Jaron's style. I mean, you can tell that there's just a lot of energy in these guys built up for tonight.
You know, you can watch the first 4 minutes that are played. Probably be a lot of tension. You might not see much scoring because guys may be trying to fill out the crowd. You see ASU coming out in their patented zone defense.
Go inside to Hill. Turn around, half hook is good from about 8 feet away, and it's good for the big man to get things started.
Jordan has done a wonderful job of learning how to only take one dribble, and Pendergraft did just there.
There's the counter.
It doesn't allow the little men to come in and strip you on a double team. One dribble, take the shot up, lights out.
Well, you can see in Pendergraft's face, Trey, he is really ready to play. You can tell that he's not out here just because it's a whim. He's ready to go.
You mentioned his excitement pregame. Wise, they swing it around to Budinger. Harden drawing the defensive assignment there. Had a piece of that one, and it's the ASU steal. Glasser has Abbott to his left. Feed Ship the trailer. And a whistle, and they don't have a call yet, guys.
Well, that's because the ref fell down just beside us, Trey. I don't think he could have made the call. He was laying down.
Yeah, he went down for the count.
Devils retain possession as Glasser will trigger it in.
And credit ASU's defense on that. Again, it's that extended zone that causes so many teams problems, and that's why ASU does such a good job of getting steals. They're #1 in the Pac-10 in getting steals.
Turnover there. Minute played here, and both teams trying to work through the nervous energy here at the outset. Here's Wise against Glasser. Back iron on that one. Rebound, though, by Daniel Dillon. This is a small unit with Dillon getting the start.
But with the small unit starting, and there aren't that many perimeter players for Arizona, either these 4 guys are going to play close to 40 minutes, or else Kevin O'Neal's going to have to go, as he did against Oregon, to, like, seldom use David Baggett, who's a walk-on.
Wise looking across the zone and has it tipped away momentarily by Abbott.
Double team.
See, there's that extended zone. They're coming way out. See, they're taking it, and there's another turnover because of ASU frustrating U of A with their offense.
Harden to Ship, and a reach-in foul is called on Budinger. It's a real contrast in style. You talk man-to-man strictly, zone strictly on the ASU side. Very interesting contrast.
Yeah, and you're seeing right off the bat, ASU's doing what they want to do on defense, forcing that ball way up on top and not letting U of A get into their offense.
But even though ASU only plays zone, it has man-to-man principles. They've got pressure on the ball. Whereas if you're playing man-to-man all the time, the other team knows that, and consequently, that's when you get guys in foul trouble because they're stuck guarding somebody all the time.
Pendergraft had position, lost the handle. They will keep it on the possession arrow as he's tied up here at the 18:06 mark. Jeff, one of the top post players in the conference, and really has to feel relieved this year, drawing so many double and triple teams last year. A little bit of freedom with an improved squad this year.
Yeah, and they can't do that anymore. If they double, triple team on Jeff, everyone else is going to get a good look. Just now you're seeing Ty Abbott getting a look.
A miss from the Desert Vista High School product from the Valley, and we stay even at 2.
They need Ty Abbott to hit those because he hasn't been shooting well these last 2 games, the first 2 Pac-10 games. But up until that point, he's been shooting the ball really well.
Reverse the ball. Yep, Budinger had a good look at it. Hill the offensive rebound.
Pull it back out. You got a new shot clock. 30 seconds on the shot clock. No reason to rush it.
Dillon long with that one, and that's going to be a foul underneath. And it's going on Pendergraft. So important for not just Hill, but Pendergraft to stay out of foul trouble. They're vital to the success of each team.
All right, and here you can see they're coming way out. Once they come out, they frustrate. Look, they're coming out again. All the extended coming out. once they extend that defense, it takes U of A out of their offense that they want to run.
An active zone. You see some teams pack it in, but that is active. You mentioned the man-to-man principles there.
Now, if you're Arizona, and if Arizona State extends the zone like that on the strong side, a big man on the weak side should be able to flash into a big hole in the middle, catch it, and shoot about a 12-foot jump shot.
Wise has that block. Abbott the block.
Nice
Glasser feeds Abbott for the stop.
Beautiful pass. Beautiful pass.
That was
Glasser.
unbelievable with Glasser being able to sense that he had someone out in front. It was just an up-in-the-air touch pass.
He saw Abbott release. He didn't even come back to the floor, just let it go. And as much energy as there is in this building, look at the score. It's still 4-2.
Yeah.
And there's a foul on Abbott as he gets a hand check foul there. Coach Sendek loves his attention to details. Does the little things well for this team.
Now let's watch this. Derek Glasser catching it in the air, and before he comes down, throwing it out to Ty Abbott, who gets the dunk on the opposite end. That's a heads-up play by Derek Glasser.
And because he did not come back to the floor, it allowed the play to continue on. If he'd have come down the floor and made the pass, Arizona players are already coming back to play defense.
And that's the second quick foul on Abbott, and Coach Sendek's going to have to go to the bench here as he brings in Christian Polk, their sharpshooter. And Abbott, a guy that can help him in a lot of ways, and a little instruction there on the sideline.
Yeah, it's too bad, Bob. That could just be a little bit of the freshman nerves coming out and just getting too excited.
But that's what I meant by you got to watch the freshmen for ASU for the first time playing in front of a full house. They might try some things they don't normally do. Abbott now is going to sit and watch the next 16:50 of this first half because he has 2 fouls.
Dillon working the baseline, nothing there. Good ball rotation, Budinger baseline drive. Pull up, not there. Rebound Ship. Ship has had to take a lot of the rebounding chores. Despite being just 6'3", they'll keep the ball after that deflection. This has been a series obviously dominated by U of A. 24 of the last 25. 12 straight, and there have been some close calls, but U of A has found a way to win the close game.
I'll tell you, the Ship family, that's one of those families where if you're a high school coach in that area, you're in love.
Yeah.
You got the guy that played at Cal, you got the guy playing UCLA, this one here at ASU. He's got a whole lot of ships coming through there, sailing and making some good basketball for their high school.
Josh Ship, a good one at UCLA. Harden can't connect for 15. Battle underneath, controlled by Nick Wise. They'll settle into that half-court set, 4-2, almost 4 minutes in here in Tempe.
See, the hole is right here in the middle. So somebody has to come from the weak side, flash into that hole, catch it, and shoot it.
Wise against Polk. Baseline jumper on the way. Budinger knocks it down, and we're even.
Yeah, that's the kind of the Achilles heel on this zone defense. If the team can move the ball around fast, the defense can't shift quick enough with it, and that's what U of A did there.
Budinger with a soft touch. There's a shot by Harden that won't go. The tip by Ship, second time. Can't get it to go. Had a couple opportunities there, point-blank range.
The jitters are showing. Going by 4 minutes of play. 4-4 the score. There's no way this game will end up at 40-40.
Budinger, and he gives Arizona the lead, a three-pointer from the corner. That's his 31st of the year at 40% on the season.
That's the selfish mentality that Chase has to show. With Bayless out, he must be a leader offensively for the Cats.
Yeah, be paying attention here. James Harden is hurt. He's not moving. Last time down the floor, his face was grimacing. There's something going on with James.
Ship misses the long range. Jumper will take a closer look at Harden as this game wears on. Under the 15-minute mark here in the first half. McClellan, a good look just inside the arc. It's short. Here comes Glasser the other way. Glasser, nice feed, baseline. Harden can't connect. The Artesia High School products fail to come up with a bucket there. Wise passed up a shot at a three, and they turn it over. Chase Budinger, a couple big jumpers for Arizona. First, he does it on the baseline, then from the corner for three. Visitors have the early lead.
It really kind of throws us because we don't have enough depth to get away with, losing a guy that scores 20 points a game and gets you 5 assists. So it is an adjustment, but injuries are part of basketball. And what has to happen is other people have to step up in his absence and do a better job of playing the game the right way.
It is a big blow. No reason, though, to risk anything here in January. You have March ahead of you. But you mentioned to me, Bob, that the side-to-side movement, he hasn't been able to put a lot of pressure on that knee.
No, he strained the medial collateral ligament on the right knee. That's the inside ligament. So consequently, yeah, you might be able to go vertical, but it's the horizontal move that is the problem, and there's no reason to risk it right now. There's a lot of basketball left to play. You're just in your third Pac-10 game right now. Let them sit out today. Let them sit out Saturday against Houston. Let them be gangbusters ready to bust loose. Against Stanford and Cal.
Yeah, he saw those impressive numbers. 6 times this year he's gone 20 points or better. But they have the lead here in the early going, and away from the ball, foul called on Arizona. Kevin O'Neal, who was part of that great recruiting job at Arizona under Lute Olson in the 80s, that Final Four team that made it to Kansas City in 1988. Polk with an air ball from the corner. Christian at times can be effective, but he didn't look good on that one.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure that that's the shot that Herb Sendek wanted coming off of that inbound play.
6 straight misses from the field for the Devils.
Yeah, James Harden right now is 0 for 2, and the 2 that he missed were kind of the ones that are up point blank that he usually gets to go in.
Budinger, and he pulled that pivot foot.
He did. He definitely did. I think Harden is trying to do too much early on. Like when he goes to the hole, instead of just finishing, he's trying to be a little too cute. But again, a freshman, youngest player in the Pac-10, full house, you never know how they're going to react. That's the good and the bad about the situation. You don't know how they're going to react.
He was so cool as a cucumber against Oregon State, and there's another turnover for Harden. And sometimes these young kids, it takes them a few minutes to get into a big game like this, a rivalry game.
And that's why I said for Arizona, yeah, you got to get into Harden. But 2 things. One is show him some different looks where he's not quite comfortable. The second is let him have some unforced errors.
Back to the basket, Hill. Nice spin move. Bank won't go. Shift the rebound.
Jordan has to learn how to use his left hand on the left side when he's getting that much pressure.
Good pass underneath. Pendergraft, great position, and he doesn't miss many of those.
Yeah, he felt the pressure of Hill right there behind him, and Jeff kind of went up and shot it too hard, expecting contact.
That middle is wide open in the zone.
Zane Johnson is at the scores table. We'll check into the next break, it appears, for the Wildcats. We talked about their lack of depth on the perimeter spots.
Now that's amazing because Zane was supposed to redshirt, so by playing him in this game, they just gave up his redshirt year.
There's another turnover. McClellan dragging the feet. 5 turnovers now for the Cats.
That's news. Zane Johnson coming in because now he has just given up his freshman year, but with the depth problem that Kevin O'Neal talked about earlier, I guess he feels, hey, we need the kid now. He is the best perimeter shooter on this team. I'm glad to see him play personally.
6'5" freshman from Phoenix.
He played at Thunderbird High School here in Phoenix.
Holt looking inside. Pendergraft draws the double. Feeds McMillan. Off the handle. Steal McWise. Outlet Budinger. And he's fouled from behind by Ty Abbott. And that is 3 now on Abbott. And he'll have to come out of the game.
Yeah, it's too bad. Ty should know better than that. I mean, you got 2. In some cases, it's just better giving up the basket. It's a nice outlet, but Ty's coming in trying to stop 2 points. Sometimes you just give it up.
And he didn't even try to stop the points. He just grabbed his arm. You see Budinger looking for an intentional foul. I thought they were going to call it an intentional foul because Ty did not go after the ball. He went after his arm.
On Monday, it's a new episode of the Eric Burns Show. Join Eric for a trip to his off-season home in Half Moon Bay, California, where you meet his parents and his lovely new bride. The Eric Burns Show presented by Alltel, Monday at 7 and 9:30 p.m. only on FSN Arizona. Well, Arizona's a great place. Half Moon Bay ain't bad either. Budinger trying to cash in on both foul shots. And he gets the roll and extends the lead to 5. Cats on a 7-0 run.
And that's big because you knew ASU was going to come out with a lot of emotion, confidence level high, 2-0 in the Pac-10, but now Arizona's made a statement. But, you know, it was only 8 minutes this game that's been played so far. There's 32 minutes left to play. You can't get overconfident either.
Harden from the right wing, and before the shot, a foul is called on the Cats. We're going to get Dillon here.
Daniel Dillon reaching back and grabbing some old rugby moves from Australia. trying to bogart his way through a screen.
Here's a look at the Aussie, senior from Melbourne. Been a tough perimeter defender in his time at U of A, as Pendergraft will come out of the game here at the 12-10 mark. Let's see now, Tom, how the Devils react with Jeff out of the game. They bring in Eric Boateng. He's given him some quality minutes. Did a good job against the Beavers.
Yeah, and this is what Herb Sendek is doing. He's putting Boateng in to replace Jeff Pendergraft. So far, we haven't seen the two big guys playing at the same time, so one replaces the other.
And right away, Kevin O'Neill takes Jordan Hill out also so he can get a breather, because look, the next timeout, next dead ball, there'll be an automatic TV timeout.
And Harden trying to force it right there, and a turnover. Budinger, Holt gets back, can't get to him, and away. And Budinger really taking charge here in the first half for the Wildcats.
He's got 9 points already, most of them coming off of ASU turnovers. ASU just having a hard time getting the ball in the basket. They're not getting their shots.
Holt driving against the bigs, won't go, out of bounds. It'll go to Arizona. The Wildcats with Zane Johnson making a surprise appearance, led by Budinger. And they have a 7-point lead in Tempe.
Now move ahead in our coverage on Fox College Sports.
Well, the rivalry really involves football, because in basketball, I think the U of A has won something like 45 out of the last 46 games, so not much of a rivalry there.
I take pride in us being a very good football program, but you know, I want to see basketball back to where it should be. Yeah, they better be U of A. I'm getting tired of U of A kicking our butt, you know.
Two of the greats at U of A and ASU, Steve Kerr, Byron Scott, and there's Terrell Suggs. Speaking of football, he has been very impressive at the next level as well with the Baltimore Ravens, one of the best pass rushers around. He'd like to see the basketball program be better here. All those football guys, that's what they do in the offseason, right?
Hey, the basketball players want to play football. The football players want to play basketball. Everybody wants to do something. I know what's not going on. People are not shooting this basketball. 13-8 at this time of the game. If you project this to a 40-minute game, the score will be 40-25.
And Hill cleans up his miss. That's 5 out of 31 combined for these teams after the teams hit their first 3 shots combined. 7-point lead for the Wildcats. Ashley was very improved from last season at that point guard spot.
They're working hard at trying to get the ball into Pendergraft. And Jeff just can't get it to go down tonight.
They seem out of sync. Credit the Wildcats defense, but Arizona a little bit shell-shocked here in the early going. And they were almost to the 6-minute mark.
The defense has done a great job for Arizona, but here's where you need a three-pointer just to put a little dagger in there and say, hey, now up by 10. More than double your score.
Here it comes.
And McClellan drills it. He is only a 28% shooter from out there. His 10th 3 of the year, but he has a good delivery.
Trey, now this becomes a mental game. It's almost like all those years we saw Serena Williams and Venus Williams, and Serena could never beat her older sister.
They get a steal there and a 2-and-a bucket to make it 18-10. And, you know, ASU got over the hump in terms of beating a ranked team in Xavier and winning their first 2 in conference play, but Arizona's a whole other matter. Wise for 3. This kid is really playing well, and a 30-second timeout called by Herb Sendek. Wise in the spotlight has really stepped up in Bayless absent. He has had 4 straight games in double figures.
You know, Nick, you got to give the young man credit. He steps up, he got an opportunity, doing his thing. But first you saw McClellan that's going to whip the ball around, and you're going to see McClellan set, shoot, and knock it down that 3. Then this time, Dillon, a little penetration, kicks out to Wise, and Wise knocks down the 3 also. What they're starting to do is they're starting to find the holes in that extended zone of ASU.
And Bob, what happens in that zone, if you use 2 up, it's just kind of these words that you use when you're playing against the zone. As soon as you can use 2 up, it means someone's open on either side of where you're using those 2 up. And that's what U of A is doing so well. They're penetrating, bringing 2 in, using 2 up, dishing it off for an open, easy 3-point shot.
And Wise and McClellan, their roles were really magnified even more in Baylesson's absence. We know Budinger can shoot it, but the guards need to be able to knock down those shots against this zone as well.
Sendek called a timeout to get back to his players, but based on their philosophy and how they run their zone, there's nothing else they can do. If you're going to extend out and challenge the three, you're going to make a big hole in the middle for somebody to go after.
And there's James Harden attacking the goal like he has been all year.
Well, like I said earlier, he was 0 for 5. He shoots 50%. So that means he should hit the next 5 in a row. There's one. He's got 4 more in a row to go to get him back to 50%.
Yeah, Tom, that's a shooter's mentality. So I'm going to make the numbers work out one way or another. Bucket and one.
And Wise driving to the goal. And again, the fallacy that you can't drive against a zone defense. Here's a look.
So you got these big holes here, a little crossover. There's a lot of room inside. It's like Swiss cheese. Because you make those guys come out on the perimeter honoring Wise, Budinger.
Look at those
Johnson. You've got to let something. There's going to be a hole someplace, and Wise found it all the way to the hole. The smallest guy on the floor got to the hole.
He's been a good distributor, as you see. You saw from the stats there, taking care of the basketball and scoring the ball lately as well. Has 6 points for Arizona. 12-point lead.
Crowd trying to give some lip to the Devils, but they can't play the game. They can holler all they want to.
And when they collapse on Pendergraft, we saw that a lot last year. There's a turnover. And Zane Johnson seeing some more time on the floor for the Cats. Has the ball out high right now.
You're going to burn a red shirt year, you might as well get some minutes. Can't just make 1 or 2 appearances in 5 minutes. You better play a lot. That's all, man.
Glasser with good position on Nick Wise. It'll go the other way. 17 fouls now on the Cats.
When you penetrate, you cannot drop your shoulder. It's an easy call for the officials.
Wise will come out with 3 fouls. So 3 on Wise, 2 on McClellan, and that's got to be a little bit of a concern for O'Neal despite the big lead.
Big time, because Nick Wise is the only pure point guard on this roster. So now Arizona's going to play the next 4:06 about a pure point guard. And in the second half, Wise going to have to be careful because he gets his fourth, he's going to sit down a long time.
Glasser, cross court to Tooney. Leaning in with the left hand.
Very nice move. You saw how he took Budinger to the outside. Once Chase budged on it, he stepped back underneath with a nice left hand. That's a great move.
He's only averaging 2.4 points per game, but he's given them some quality minutes here in the first half.
Trey, watch Arizona slow the tempo down, elongate the game, not really use this shot clock to make less possessions so they can kind of stall to get Nick Wise back into the game in the second half.
Dillon, cross-court Johnson. Hill has it in good position. Fall-away shot. Harden the rebound. He's gone to the half hook a lot, had to fall away with that one.
Notice how that time Arizona took the shot with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Look for more of that for the next 3 minutes of this first half.
Harden gets a screen from Pendergraft. Rolls inside. Good kick out Pendergraft. And he misses from the baseline.
And notice right away, Coach O'Neal told Chase, slow it down. Work the clock.
Boy, that goes against the U of A philosophy through the years, huh? It's usually more up-tempo. But they're in control right now, up 10. McClellan. And he draws contact on the baseline. 2:40 to go first half. A slow pace to Arizona's liking. They're only shooting 38%, but Wise has been a big spark plug. He has 6 of the Wildcats' 24. For that guy, bad shooting for the Sun Devils, down 10 here in Tempe. Tomorrow, it's a doubleheader on FSN Arizona. First up, the NAU Lumberjacks take on the Montana Grizzlies. In the 4th-ranked Washington State Cougars take on USC in a showdown between Pac-10 title contenders in high definition. Coverage begins tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. right here on FSN Arizona. Here's a look at Jeff Pendergraft, who is frustrated, as is his teammate Jeff Harden. There's a look at the numbers from those two. The 2 stars have been shut down.
Yeah, and you know they're frustrated because they put 14 points up on the board after 17 minutes and 20 seconds, and you just can't win a ball game doing that.
That's as a team.
Yeah.
I mean, there have been games, and those have been scored by a player himself, not on a whole team's output.
Ron McClellan, the Cats' glue guy through the years, misses the first free throw. He really fills a stat sheet. You know, you look at some of the numbers of San Diego State game: 7 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. He does those little things very well.
He's taken on that role that a Luke Walton had, Andre Iguodala had, will basically become the guy, the all-purpose, all-complete player. You do a little bit of everything, a little scoring, a little rebounding, a little assist. You do whatever the team needs to make sure you come away with a W.
Double-digit lead for the Wildcats. ASU has been in a funk offensively. There's a backdoor feed. Pendergraft to Ship. And it's 25-16.
That was a nice timed-out little pass and a backdoor cut. And ASU needs to get more of those sweet spot shots.
Budinger for 3. Here comes Harden in a hurry. Lost the handle.
Trying to do too much.
4 turnovers for the freshman here in the first half.
And notice right away, Dillon slows it down. The only guy that has the green light to take a shot when he wants is Chase right there. Forget the shot clock. Now, you know, that ball went through the hoop and came back through.
It almost went on top of the rim, and it didn't quite.
So the question is, if it didn't come all the way up and come back through, does that count?
They take points off the board, don't they?
I hope not. Not on that end.
9-point game, 1:30 to go. Harden on the drive, and he draws contact, and that has been their best offensive option all year. Him driving to the hole and drawing the whistle.
Look at this. It did go all the way
on
through.
The outside.
It cleared the perimeter, that imaginary line there, but none of the officials said it was good, so I guess I got my answer.
Nice camera work.
I watch a lot of basketball, years of basketball, and not see that happen. Here's Harden. Knocks down the free throw. Sometimes when you're struggling as a kid with your confidence, you can get it back on the foul line.
Well, you know, Trey, that's what I told all my guys, was that before you even start your game, get to the gym early and shoot free throws. Get your rhythm, get the feel going. That's what you do first. And maybe James, after hitting these 2 free throws, might get that rhythm back.
Now, for Jordan Hill, who committed that last foul, that's his first. Remember, one of the keys for Arizona is to keep number 43, Jordan Hill, out on the floor. Looks like he's going to play the whole 20 minutes in the first half, almost, minus a little timeout for a breather, around 12 minutes on the clock.
Budinger, an air ball. Hill was there to grab it, and he's fouled, and that's Pendergraft. And that will be his second, and right away, Coach Sendek brings in Boateng. No reason to mess with it here, and he'll probably sit the final 118.
That's right. He's already got Ty Abbott on the bench with 3. It's not going to help at all to have Jeff picking up his 3rd foul.
So many troubles last year with foul difficulty. You talk about Hill and Pendergraft and their importance. Here's a look at Hill in the last 5. When he plays, when he stays out of foul trouble, he can be dynamic.
Yeah, he really can. On the other side, Pendergraft, who's really needed for ASU to be on the floor, must sit the next 118, but for the game, 1 for 4 from the field and no rebounds, he said.
It's the 1-minute mark, 7-point Arizona lead. Holt over to Boateng. Harden working hard away from the ball, and here's an offensive foul on Boateng, trying to set a screen on the low block to get Harden free.
Yeah, that hurts. You know, instead of getting within 5 points, maybe 4 if they would have gotten a 3, now they risk going down by 8 to 9, depending on what happens
and
here.
Arizona should do what's called a 2-for-1. You see the 55, 53 seconds on the shot clock. If they can take a shot with about 42 seconds on the game clock, that means they will get another possession. They will get 2 possessions to ASU's 1.
Johnson from the corner, and he drills the 3. How about that from the freshman?
And check out the game clock, right around 42. Perfect clock management. Look at, he's smiling. Johnson's like, hey, I'm out here. Forget the red shirt. That was a big 3 by that young guy.
Concussion in the preseason. Seeing action here against the arch rival. Here's Harden in the paint. Kicks it out. Poke open for 3. And he gets a good look. He gets his feet set. He's tough. Not a pretty shot, but he's effective out there. And a 30-second timeout called by Kevin O'Neal.
Great use of the timeouts by Kevin, because you cannot roll both 30-second timeouts to the second half. Nice penetration, a kick out. Zane, boom, his first bucket. But then ASU handles and comes back. Holt with a counter. he knocks down a 3. But you want to call that 30-second timeout because you cannot roll it to the next half. You would lose. It's use or lose. You got 15 seconds left. So now you pull your troops in as Kevin O'Neal has done. You make sure everybody knows, here's the play we're running. Here's who's getting the ball. If I had my money on it, I'd say Budinger number 1 and Johnson number 2 because he is the best shooter. Johnson is on the team. He hit his last one. Go back to the guy that might be feeling the heat.
7-point game. Wildcats have 12-point lead at 1 point. Turn down to 7. As bad as Arizona State has been offensively, down 7, Herb Sendek would take that going to the break.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're pretty lucky to be within 7 because it could be a lot worse than that.
Final 10 seconds. McMillan on the ball against Dillon. Budinger. Hill blocked by Boateng. And we have reached halftime here in Tempe. Big time block. Arizona, Kevin O'Neal thought they had a chance at a bucket right here.
Yeah, and look at the timing. Look at that. The Duke transfer gets up 7 feet. He gets way up in the air. Perfect timing on that to deflect that ball. And you see he didn't hit it so hard that it went out of bounds. Gave ASU another chance to get it. Great play. 9th block of the season for Boateng, who's been giving him some quality minutes of late, spelling Jeff Pendergraft here at the start of the conference season. Let's go to Jody Jackson with Kevin O'Neal.
Coach, do you like the aggressiveness from Chase early on to give you that early lead?
Well, we always want Chase to be aggressive. You know, he and Jared, when they're playing, are really guys that we want to go to. So I like what he did early. He turned a little bit toward the end of the half. And then we got some foul trouble that really kind of screwed up our rotation. But, you know, anytime you're ahead at the half, we're happy. And, you know, we got to come back out and play better in the second half.
You said you do have the lead, staving off the emotion of this crowd. How do you continue that?
You know, the best way is to keep winning. I mean, if you're ahead, it keeps the crowd out of the game. What we got to do is make sure we keep their players out of the game. The crowd can't score any baskets. We got to do a job on them defensively.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, Trey, back to you.
Thank you, Jody. The Devils at one point shooting 17% in the first half. They finished by making 5 of their last 7 field goals, and they trailed the Wildcats at halftime 28-21. The duel in the desert revisited. Defense has been the story thus far in Tempe. Halftime coming up.
We're at the half. Wildcats leading the Sun Devils 28-21 here at Wells Fargo Arena. And you know what? If you want the inside scoop on both these schools, U of A, ASU, FSN Arizona is your place with the Insider Shows. Every week you can catch our brand new format for this season. And next week, the Wildcat Insider, Wednesday, hosted by Sean Mooney at 6:30 p.m. And that is followed by the Sun Devil Insider, also on Wednesday, 7 p.m., hosted by yours truly. And there's more information on both athletic programs than ever before, touching on all the sports we can jam-pack into 30 minutes. Stay with us right here at Wells Fargo Arena, the rivalry game. U of A right now up on the Devils by 7.
Shooting just 36%, but they have a 7-point lead at the break here in Tempe. Whether you're a Wildcat or a Sun Devil, you're not going to want to miss any of the Pac-10 action this season. Pick up the phone, get your tickets now. For U of A tickets, call 520-621-CATS. And for ASU tickets, 480-727-0000. For now, keep your seat right there in the living room. We'll be right back with halftime highlights and stats in just a moment. The Cats have the lead at halftime. On FSN Arizona is brought to you by Burger King. Burger King wants you to party like a king. Enter to win at your local Burger King restaurant. Wells Fargo Arena, electric atmosphere. Defense has been the story here in the first half. Arizona a 28-21 lead, and the shooting percentages have not impressed anybody. Defense man-to-man from Arizona has been effective. The zone from ASU has been effective, but sometime somebody's got to make some shots, guys.
Yeah, it hasn't been going well for either one of them. And when you're looking at ASU trying to get out and deflect some shots, that's what's been happening with some good defense, holding U of A's percentage down.
And there you see the emphasis that Arizona had on Harden that time as he goes to the hole. Nice little kick out that time to Polk. He knocks on that 3 late in the first half.
And they needed that. And that U of A doing the same thing, shooting the ball extremely well. When they find the guys in the right spots, ASU not converging there and stopping that drive. Wise going all the way to the basket. Again, finding the open man, putting the ball in the hole.
Big three right there by Zane Johnson, the freshman. You know, you look at these stats, and everything looks somewhat equal, but the biggest difference you see is right here, three-pointers, okay? Arizona has 3 more than ASU. You compute that out, now you know why Arizona's up by 7 at the half.
That's right, that's 9 points there. Somehow ASU has got to be able to shoot better from the outside. I think missing Ty Abbott in that first half has been a big minus for ASU.
The Devils trying to stay perfect on the home floor, but their toughest test so far, trailing Arizona by 7 at the break. A 21 Arizona lead over the Sun Devils here in Tempe as we get ready for the second half. Devils shooting just 33%. And Arizona just 36%. Nobody in double figures here in the first half. And this crowd that was so raucous pregame has been silenced a little bit. Arizona getting the lead early, and they have it at halftime. Here's Cody Jackson with associate head coach Mark Phelps.
Here with assistant coach Mark Phelps. And coach, it looks like a lot of your guys who are normally making shots, you know, James Harden, Jeff Pendergraft, a little bit tight tonight. What do you have to do to get them going in the second half?
We clearly didn't play our best half of basketball in the first half. You know, our 3 leading scorers combined for 8 points, too many turnovers, didn't execute, and having said all that, to be down 7, we're not in a bad situation. We just have to play better in the second half, and I think they're ready to do that.
And defensively, the three-point shot, obviously something that hurts you a little bit there.
You know, at the same time, they're shooting in the mid-30s maybe from the field, and they have 28 points. So I don't think it's so much on the defensive end, although we're going to have to play a great defensive second half. We've got to do the things we do on the offensive end.
Okay, thanks a lot. All right, obviously, coach disappointed with that first half.
JJ, thanks. How about the leading scorers? Look at the Arizona State side. If you would have told Coach Sendek Atuani's their leader was 6, he would have said we're in a lot of trouble. Buttinger had a spurt there where he was very effective.
Yeah, and you look at that tells you a lot about what's happening on the offensive end. You know, coach talks a lot about getting to those sweet spots, and that's where they get their good looks. That wasn't happening in the first half. And I think, Bob, that James Harden was just pressing a little bit. Maybe the second half he'll kind of calm down and get into his game.
Well, I'm pretty sure that the ASU coaching staff got into his head. And when looking back at my game plan for Arizona to win this game, Jordan Hill stay on the floor. He did that, only 1 foul. They contain Harden, and the 8 turnovers is close enough to having 7 at halftime. Very good first half for Arizona.
Yeah, when you look at ASU's game plan, what we talked about, they're just not doing it. They're not getting the ball enough to James, and he's not getting the ball in the hole. Pendergraft isn't scoring enough. They got to make some adjustments to come back.
And there's one thing they haven't adjusted to. Jordan Hill, nice feed from Buttinger for the bucket, and Hill now 6 points and 7 rebounds.
Very nice first possession for Arizona. To come out, make a bucket, and be a dunk. Nice move. And see, there's foul number 2 on Jordan Hill.
And there's a bucket and a foul. Chance for a three-point play for Harden. And right away, they go to their go-to guy, and that's a good start for him.
Boy, that's what they needed to do. Get that ball to Harden right away. Look how he finds that gap again. Finds a way to get between 2 or 3 defenders with that long left arm, get the ball in the hole, and he does that so well. Boy, they needed that for him to get started and to kind of get the ASU team. Now they're down by 6, so they picked up 1 point already.
Now he's a 56% shooter from the field, 80% from the foul line, and you got to think his numbers will improve as this game goes on. He was abysmal in the first half, just 1 for 6.
2 things to watch for Arizona. First,
there's 1.
that helps. There's 1. Now, Nick Wise has 3 fouls. See how he handles that. And Jordan Hill has 2. Watch ASU come right back to Pendergraft down low to try to draw that 3rd foul on Hill.
8 points now for Hill. Emphatic dunk there to extend the lead to 8. Chip gets a screen from Pendergraft. Rolled towards the bucket. Here's Glasser from the corner. Off the mark on the 3. Hill the rebound. Nick Wise in a hurry. And now they'll settle into that half-court set. Hill has it against Pendergraft. Couldn't grab the handle on it. McClellan, quick ball reversal. Buttinger in the corner. Off the back iron, Hill the rebound. And he misses the lay-in. Ship went to the floor. And they let him play on. 8-point game. And now a foul on Arizona. going on Hill.
Arizona.
See, here's what happens in that zone. If we can show that again, as soon as they bring the ball to the corner on Pendergraft's side, he has to go out. When Pendergraft goes out, it leaves the middle wide open, and that's what happens, and that's why the smaller guys are getting stuck guarding Hill underneath.
And that's 3 on Hill. A big foul here. He'll go to the bench. Brielmaier checks in here early in the second half. Harden kicks it for Glasser. Skip pass, Ship. He thought about the 3. Now he'll drive in. Can't get it. Pendergraft. They go to the floor. Steal. Wise. Dillon.
That's excellent basketball. Create the turnover. Go after the opposition. Turn the turnover into points off a turnover. Make ASU feel that you not only lost 2 points on their end, you picked up to a 4-point differential for Arizona. Arizona's up by 10.
4 points, 5 assists for Daniel Dillon. Again, Hill on the bench with 3. Pendergraft against Brielmaier. Underhands it to Abbott. 15-footer. Off the mark. Offensive rebound, Pendergraft, and he's fouled underneath.
Pendergraft can be a little pogo stick when he wants to.
Brielmaier battling Pendergraft. Let's take a look at Arizona. Here's Ship on the drive.
It's a good drive. He just couldn't get it to go, but Pendergraft, a nice rebound, and he couldn't get the ball back up. He loses it, and U of A comes down with a great fast break for 2 points.
Worse than that, Brielmaier just re-injured that shoulder. So now he comes out of the game. He's not going to be able to play anymore. Here's a very, very tough kid. So when he comes to the bench making faces like that, he's not going back in.
He just returned from that separated shoulder last week against Oregon State, injured it against San Diego State. Boy, the depth problems now, Bob. I mean, you know, the Bayless injury and Brielmaier.
So when Brielmaier comes out, he's got 3 fouls, and they leave him on the bench. Brielmaier can't play because of the injury. O'Neal ends up going with Fendi Odebaum, about 6'6" in the hole. There's time to bring Kirk Walters into play. Let him play the hole. He's a senior. He did well against Kansas. He did well against Memphis. You can play against 2 teams in the top 5. I think you can play against ASU.
Nice move by Wise. Dillon at it, blocked though by Pendergraft. And ASU will have the basketball.
I'm telling you, there's something going on with James Harden's leg or his knee or something, because Sendek just pulled him out because James is limping, he's grimacing, and he's hurt. So he had to come out early.
Well, the travel on Anabon with 16:50 to go. 8-point game. Pendergraft really working hard. Gets the high-low feed. Had it stripped. I think Buninger got a hand on it. And then Pendergraft picks up a silly foul, reaching behind Wise. And that's his 3rd. So the 2 big men with 3 fouls each.
Yeah, that's going to hurt ASU. Watch Buninger on the help out on the weak side. Pendergraft did not know that Buninger was there. So now if they leave Pendergraft in the game, ASU, Arizona needs to go right at him, make him commit his 4th.
He's going to stay in there with 3.
Go after him. All fair in love and war.
Mark that 16:40 mark. Pendergraft is 3rd, and let's see how he responds. Buninger, Wise in the corner for McClellan.
They got to get the ball to Fendi Audubon.
Buninger steps through and throws it away. He wanted McClellan underneath the bucket. That's 10 turnovers for Kevin O'Neal's team.
And Kevin O'Neal went to Kirk Walters, told him to go in, then he pulled him back out. If you know you need an offensive guy, Kirk Walters has offensive skills. Put him in the game for Fendi. Let him be the one to draw that 4th foul on Pendergraft. Utilize the skills that Kirk has.
Abbott against Buninger. Here's Harden off the curl. And out of bounds, it will stay with ASU. They are trying different ways to get him involved in the offense.
Yeah, he's just getting beat up. He's laying on the floor. He's getting pushed down, tripped. And here he comes. You can see him dashing through, just banging underneath there. He's just taking a beating tonight.
He leads the team averaging 31 minutes per game, but this has to be the roughest he has seen it this year. Here's Glasser. The 3 is short. Wise the long rebound. McClellan underneath. Anabon lays it in.
See, go to Fendi. Whoever Pendergraft is guarding, go to that person. because he does not want to commit that fourth foul. He's going to be a lame duck down low.
Athletic guy, 6'6", 235. Sat out a lot of the preseason with shin problems, and he missed the first 8 games as well.
So Houston connection at the last time. Wise to McClellan down to Fendi. They're all getting geeked up about going home on Saturday to play Houston.
Improved Houston Cougars team, no doubt about it. Shot clock down to 5. Glasser, Harden, a long 3 from the wing. Drills it. He shoots it at 47% out there, and that was a long-range one.
That was a defensive lapse by Arizona. There is no way Harden is supposed to ever get an open look at the basket for 40 minutes tonight.
He's been deadly out there, Tommy. He had that go-ahead 3 against Oregon in their win here.
Yeah, and he shoots well from outside. You look at the 3-point value there showing up on the screen earlier, and there's another turnover. You can hear the crowd now start getting into it here.
Budinger, a mental error there, and the Cats turn it over for the 11th time. Glasser to the super freshman Harden, and the lead is now 7.
Bobcats 36, 29 back at Wells Fargo with football coach for the ASU Sun Devils, Dennis Erickson. And Coach, I know you're out here anytime you can support this team. You've had a taste of this rivalry now. What about the atmosphere here tonight?
It's a great atmosphere, great fans. What a rivalry, and you know, what a game, and what a job Herb Sendek's done. So I'm a huge basketball fan. Tonight's it's gonna be a great game before it's all over with.
I guess you can sympathize with Coach Sendek that the pressure is on when you're dealing with U of A, right?
The pressure's on all the time, so it doesn't make any difference. But obviously, this is a big game.
I know you're out on the recruiting trail these days. How's it going so far?
It's going real well. It's hard to tell until signing day, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty good year.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Right. Back over to you, Trey.
Thanks, Jody. Congrats to the Devils football team. Made the Holiday Bowl trip, knocked off their arch rival, Arizona 20-17. Here's Pendergraft. And on his move to the bucket, they're going to call basket interference goaltending. So Pendergraft getting a good look that time. He's still having a hard time putting it down, but they'll credit him 2 points.
And you're looking at it here. Too many hands up inside the rim. Yeah, see that ball was on the rim. Look at that. Too many hands hitting that ball away once it's in that circle.
5-point game, and here comes the home crowd, making themselves be known for the first time this loudly at Wells Fargo. Budinger misses the 3, Abbott the rebound.
If ASU scores here, look for Kevin O'Neal to call a timeout. You do not want ASU to start a run and get the crowd involved.
Pendergraft draws the double. Glasser. Harden against Dillon. Drives inside. Audubon comes over and picks up the foul. There's no secret what ASU wants to do. They want to get the freshman the basketball and have him drive, and he's so crafty the way he contorts his body driving into the paint.
Yeah, and he does that so well. And here's what happens. One of 2 things. Number one, he either makes the basket, or secondly, he gets fouled and goes to the line. There's no other Sun Devil on this team that's gone to the free throw line more this season other than James Harden, because he goes to the basket. See, and here you got it again. He goes so strong in there, getting between 2 or 3 people, and he hangs on to it and draws that crowd and gets the foul, goes to the free throw line.
And you saw the problem for Arizona there. Chase Budinger just kind of reached out to say, I'm helping you. No, you got to move your feet and get in the pass that Harden is going.
7-0 run for the Devils. Harden now leading the way with 12 points.
That's a new ball game now, and you can hear the crowd coming in. That 6th player for ASU.
The Herbivores in that end zone. Glasser, and that's going to be a kick. They will reset the shot clock here with 13:32 to go.
Remember, Jordan Hill commits his 3rd. He comes out of the game. All of a sudden, the momentum starts to shift to ASU.
Shot clock will stay at 17. 36-33. Budinger, that was deflected. Looks like Harden got a hand on that one. McMillan into the corner. Abbott. Vying for the tie, can't connect.
Boy, Ty again struggling tonight. He's 1 for 4, and the one basket he did make was a dunk on a fast break.
And there's a Pendergraft block, his 20th of the season. And who do you look for here, Tom? Here's your guy, Harden.
Oh, I'm saying you got to get it down to Jeff Pendergraft and let him go. Hill's not in there, so he's got the ball now. See if Jeff will go to work.
At the high post, looking backdoor, Harden. And he's fouled. Two guys came over, Dillon and also McClellan. And McClellan's going to get the call for the shove. That's his third.
Now look at Jeff Pendergraft, the timing. Look at that. That was just perfect. And again, he doesn't knock it out of bounds. And that's what a good shot blocker will do. He'll deflect the ball, but keep it in bounds. And of course, James Harden again, being able to get to the basket, draw the foul, get to the free throw line.
Very good pass by Pendergraft there.
Very good pass.
Yeah, he's done a good job of catching his teammates going backdoor moves tonight.
Timeout called by Arizona. They have 3 players with 3 fouls. McClellan, Wise, and Hill. And the lead is just 3 for the Cats. In the first half, the lead is now 3 here midway through the second half. Steve Nash and the Suns take on the Milwaukee Bucks this Saturday in high definition. Coverage begins at 6:30 p.m., beginning with a Quest Suns Live pregame show. After the game, stick around for complete analysis on the Quest Suns Live postgame, only on FSN Arizona. The shooting percentage is still about the same in the 30s, but the energy has been pretty good for Arizona State here in the second half. And look what they've done this season. That's the first thing in building a program, protect the home floor, and it's going to be so important in the conference this year.
Yeah, 10-0 so far this year. You know, Trey, when you look at their overall record, ASU had more wins before Christmas this year than they did all of last season. So far, this has already been a much better year than last year.
8-22 last year, but 14 of the last 15 games, margins of 6 points or less. They were in games. Now they have some weapons, including this guy on the line, James Harden. Hill comes in now with 3, replacing Audubon.
And see, the key here is 12:38 on the clock, which means the first dead ball after the 12-minute mark, there'll be another timeout. So probably he's going to bring Hill in for a little bit, let him get the dust off, and then possibly sit him back down a little bit after this TD timeout.
2-point game. And they are loud in that east end zone.
Good defensive play that time by ASU. Arizona's on the perimeter. Somebody needs to penetrate and get to the hole.
Shot clock at 6. Wise. McClellan, long 3, drills it. Big shot for Jawan McClellan. And he's done what they've needed to do in a different ways this season.
Huge shot because it just turned from a 1-possession game to a 2-possession game, possibly 3 by being up by 5.
Wildcats now 5 of 13 from beyond the arc. Pendergraft calling for the ball. They rotate it. McMillan thought about the 3, pulls up. 10-footer is good. They don't get a lot of offense from the freshman from Seattle. He sometimes is a little bit too tentative. Looked good. Made a good decision there.
Yeah, and I haven't seen him shoot off the dribble very often. He's more of a standstill shooter. But that looks really good. And a nice little change of pace for Jamel McMillan.
Same thing as the last possession. Arizona is staying out on the perimeter. Somebody's got to either penetrate and get to the lane or pass the ball to Jordan Hill down low.
Wise for 3. Back iron on that one. Harden the rebound. Again, a chance to tie with a 3. McMillan at the controls. Glasser on the bench right now for Herb Sendek as they hit the 11-minute mark. ASU hasn't had a lead since 4-2 early in this one.
Ooh, that was an illegal dribble. But wasn't called.
McMillan may have gotten away with one there. Shot clock down to 5. It's a high screen from Ship. McMillan had it stripped, but off his knee out of bounds. It'll go to the Wildcats. Coach Sendek has some talented young players on his roster. Arizona, young team as well, and they're getting the outside shooting, and they have the lead. The Wildcats with just a 3-point lead here midway through the second half. James Harden has 9 of the Devils' points here in the second half to draw them closer. This is a tough stretch for the Wildcats. How about an improved Houston team, then the Bay Area teams on the road? This is not going to be easy, especially with Bayless in his condition.
And Trey, that's what makes the last loss to Oregon so critical, because you're going to start this 4-game road trip with a loss at home. So it puts the pressure on Arizona. That's why they must not accept anything less than a W tonight.
Well, no reason to rush Bayless. Want to make sure he's in tip-top shape. A lot of basketball to be played just at the start of this Pac-10 season. Budinger against Ship. Has a definite size advantage in that corner. Here's Wise. Lost the handle. Budinger retrieves it. 10 on the shot clock. Dillon, nice entry to Hill. And a foul's going to be called. Harden coming over. And that's his second.
And Jeff is in the right, or Harden's in the right spot, coming over to help. Boy, that's pretty close. Looked like he got a little body underneath, but his hand was on the ball. Harden was in the right spot. That's what you want to do in that zone. When the ball's on one side, the offside forward has to come over and help, and that's what James did.
As a player, we have a saying, if there's a questionable call, you'll find out the truth when they go to the line. He missed the first one. Must have been a questionable call.
Hill gets 1 out of 2. He's a 72% free throw shooter this year. They shoot it at 74%. Devils at 76%. Good free throw shooting numbers for both teams. Under 10 minutes to go in this one. Abbott playing with those 3 fouls. Boateng out high. He's not a threat there. Ship. Harden makes his move. Ship for 3. In and out on that one, and Hill the rebound, and Hill having a monster game. That's his 11th board.
He's done a good job of rebounding for Arizona this year when he's on the floor. Can't rebound when you're sitting on the bench next to Coach O'Neal.
Dillon, and that was an errant pass. Bad decision. Ahead of the pack, Harden. The pass from McMillan, pinpoint on the money. And we have a 2-point game.
Boy, did you see how James caught that ball with his left and threw it into his right hand and still maintained balance enough to get that ball up onto the backboard. Great athletic play.
Timeout Wildcats.
Let's look at it here. Here's that turnover. Look at heads-up pass by McMillan. Just out in the reach. Harden barely hangs on to it. Here we go again. Look at this defensive stand here. Great turnover. Now here we go. Barely reaches it, hangs on. Remember, he's left-handed. Hangs on to it with his right hand and a nice touch layup. Great play.
11 of Harden's 15 here in the second half. And it says a lot about the kid's character, the way he's bounced back, because he really was in a tough situation in the first half from a confidence standpoint.
Hey, Bob, what did I say earlier? He was 1 for 6 from the field. I said he shoots 50%. Right now, he's 4 for 9. If he makes his next basket, he'll be back to 5 for 10, 50%.
That's why I called him a scorer and not a shooter. He's going to find a way to put points on the board. He didn't have that little sweet stroke from the outside. He's not like he's going to climb up above everybody and dunk it and make a posterized moment. But he finds a way to get to the hole and to get points.
It's Hill against Boateng, kicks it out for Wise. Spin move, and the jumper good. That was a beautiful move against McMillan to free himself up.
Arizona is doing to ASU what Oregon did to Arizona last game. Every time it got close, a critical bucket is made. Every time ASU's come within 1 possession, Arizona finds a way to make a bucket to put it back to 2 possessions. There's your 4-point margin.
8 points for Wise. Abbott, a long 3. Well, he was cold in the first half, and that might get him back on track. An excellent 3-point shooter, 35th of the year, 4th in the conference in that category.
That's what they needed. He's kind of that X factor on this ASU team. You know Harden and Pendergraph are going to do their thing. If Abbott scores, it creates a whole nother element to this basketball team.
Wise driving, leaning in, short, Hill the rebound, and put back as he had position against Boateng. Double-double for Hill now.
Now the difference, though, is this time with that 3 by Abbott, it's a 3-point game. Somebody knocks down a 3. Now ASU has worked its way back to a tie. So Arizona has to make sure they keep pressure on the outside shooters and don't let somebody get a free look at a 3.
He only hit threes. Harden, Polk, and Abbott. Here's McMillan. Not there. Weak side rebound. Boateng, but he had it knocked out of bounds off of him by Budinger. Arizona will get it back. Ty Abbott, the freshman from Phoenix, with the big jumper. It's a three-point game.
Arizona goes to the free throw line.
And that's a surprise there. He doesn't miss often. 1 out of 2 on the foul line for the sophomore from Marina Del Rey. 47-44.
Tom, 3 team fouls for ASU may come to haunt them, because if you get near the end and you're trying to get the ball back and force Arizona shoot a free throw, you're not at 7 for the 1-on-1.
They go to Hill again, and this time he steps on the end line. They're making a conscious effort to get Jordan Hill involved. He's had a monster game. Tough break there as the big feet finding the end line.
Hey, if he had a size smaller, he'd been all right.
Here's a look at the turnover numbers. Swarming defense, man-to-man from Arizona. Tough zone D from Arizona State tonight.
See, Arizona, I said 14 or less. They're at 15. Can't have any more.
Boateng lost the handle. Hill got a piece of that one.
Yeah, Eric's got to go in there stronger than that. He's got to go in with authority.
And Budinger, a blocking foul called on Boateng. Got him with the body. That's the 4th team foul at the 4:19 mark. And Coach Sendek's going to bring in Pendergraft here with 4 fouls.
Yeah, to me, that's a risk, because with 4:19 on the clock, there's a TV timeout right after the next dead ball. Then maybe bring him in. But to bring him in, how much is he going to gain in the next 30 seconds or so versus the risk of having the guy pick up his 5th?
I don't think he liked what he saw from Eric Boateng the last couple trips defensively.
Yeah, Eric was 2 times where he could have held on to the ball, lost it. And then down here, just couldn't get the rebound fouls. And I think he just felt that he needed to get Pendergraft back in the game early.
Budinger's first points of the second half. He now has 11. Here's Pendergraft from 10 feet, and it's good. They need his offense on the low block.
Well, that ends up being a smart substitution by Herb Sendek. ASU gets the basket now down by 3.
But if I'm Arizona, I go straight to Jordan Hill with Pendergraft, because he's going to be a lame duck. He's not going to be able to put any kind of pressure on Jordan. Should be an easy buck for Arizona.
Budinger for 3. Not there. In the corner, tracked down by Glasser. Again, a chance to tie with a 3-pointer. Under 4 minutes to go in this one.
Trey, how many times have you said that in the second half?
Yeah.
A chance to tie, but they can't seem to be able to get the tie.
They go inside for Pendergraft.
Yeah,
draws the double.
As soon as ASU can get within this amount of distance, that means they're in close. They haven't been like that with U of A in a long time. So this is a good position for ASU right now.
Yeah. Shot clock under 10 now. Glasser with the ball. Roll to Pendergraft, draws contact. We saw that repeatedly against Oregon State. They rolled Pendergraft to the hole, and he was very effective. He'll have a chance to cash in on the free throw line. Jordan Hill is at a monster game for Arizona. 14 points, including a jam there. 3-point lead for Arizona. It out type game here in Tempe. Arizona leads by 3. Sunday, it's hockey action on FSN Arizona when Captain Shane Doan and the Coyotes head north to hit the ice against the Minnesota Wild. Coyotes versus Wild this Sunday at 4 p.m. only on FSN Arizona. A lot of bodies hitting the floor here, much like what you'd see on the rink in the NHL.
It's a very physical game. And again, when you watch James Harden go to the basket like he does, how many times has he gone up and then ended up on the floor?
But he's the kind of guy that's looking for the foul, so he's going to kind of go to the floor to see if he can get the call. Nothing wrong with that at all. He's very savvy at getting to the free throw line.
We talked about this series dominance by Arizona, 12 straight. There have been some close calls, one by U of A, Arizona State within 3 here. 3:14 to go, and Pendergraft, an 81% free throw shooter. How about this? He's hit 32 of his last 36 from the strike.
And then can continue to get him the ball underneath and let him go to work. Put him on the free throw line.
1-point game. This one's shaping up to have another classic finish like a lot of these games. Here in Tempe, there have been several that have come down to the wire.
For years, it has been like this.
10 on the shot clock. Wise lost the handle, out of bounds. And it will stay with Arizona. Went off a Sun Devil. Nick Shipp got a hand on it.
Now you got 7 seconds on the shot clock. So you got to first get the ball in bounds, and second, be able to set up for a shot. Kevin O'Neal used the timeout so he can make sure there's a diagram, because this is a critical part. Arizona's been able almost the entire game to keep ASU from ever taking the lead other than very, very early on when it was 4-2.
Classic moments in this series. How about March 5th, 2005? Tight game. Salim Stoudemire teeing it up for the win.
You know, some folks thought it was a travel, but it looked good to me.
Bob, sitting at my seat, that was clearly a travel. Come on.
I didn't think you guys agree on anything tonight, so it doesn't surprise me.
No, not at all.
Here's a look at the game reset. 8 fouls against Arizona, just 4 against Arizona State. Bob, you brought that up earlier. Possession arrow points the Devils' way.
Yeah, 2 things are huge here. The timeouts left for Arizona, only 1, so that's going to be a problem. But then again, with the team fouls, ASU has to commit some fouls if they want to be able to make Arizona go to the line to get the ball back.
Oh, and there's a big three. Top of the circle for Chase Budinger out of the timeout.
A diagrammed play, execution, perfect. Budinger for 3, Arizona 2-point possession, up by 4.
They run a lot of sets to free him up, and that is one of the bigger ones here early in this season. Harden against Dillon, makes his move in the paint, double team, gets the shot up in the air, and he draws the foul. It's amazing, he has it on his hip and still finds a way to get the thing up there.
Look at this play into Wise, over to Budinger at the top. Chase, you have the green light, be selfish, knocked it down, 4-point lead for Arizona, but then Harden going to the line. Harden just seems like a guy that's just so fundamental. He's going to just keep coming and keep coming and keep driving to the hole and just keep coming, and he's trying to wear you down physically.
He's relentless.
Yeah, he is. And you know, with just 2 minutes left, they got to keep going to him so they can let him get to the basket and hopefully get to the free throw line.
19 points now, 8 of 11 from the stripe for the freshman. As Boateng will come in for Pendergraft, he'll sit with the 4 fouls with 2:17 left.
That's a good move because they're putting Boateng in on defense here, so Jeff doesn't pick up that 5th foul.
That's correct.
Every possession crucial here down the stretch. Dillon. Hill working hard for position against Boateng. In the corner on the move, McClellan counts the bucket, and the foul is called on Boateng.
Huge play again, over and over and over tonight. Some player for Arizona has stepped up. Every time ASU gets a sniff of getting close, they put him away, and there's Boateng, not quite in position. And that's the problem. If you throw a guy out there and he hasn't had that many minutes, that much experience, you can take advantage of that. Arizona's done a good job of taking advantage of that tonight.
He'll sit down with 3, Pendergraft back in.
Yeah, and that's, again, offense for defense. We'll probably see this go on for the rest of the game here.
McClellan in double figures now with 10. 5-point game, 1:50 to play. It's been Harden almost exclusively, it seems, here in the second half.
And a change defensively, McClellan is going to guard Harden.
And a big three for Abbott. He's hit a couple of them. That one from the right wing.
There's your guy, Tom.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he makes the difference. But, you know, ASU keeps climbing up, and then they let U of A score. They let him out. They can't let him out of the bag now. They got to hang on to this.
Abbott with 8 as we near the 1-minute mark. Hill travels. He took the hop step in front of Pendergraft. And the Devils now a chance to tie or take the lead here, much to the dismay of Kevin O'Neal.
This is a crucial offensive stand here for ASU right now.
And that's why Herb
going to talk it over. He'll call a timeout here with 1:14 to go.
And that's why Herb Sunday called that timeout. Just like you said, Trey, critical juncture of the game. You've never been able to get over the hump. He needs to diagram a play that they know they can execute.
Here's a look at the Abbott 3. He's been good all year.
He has. Look at this. He's got Chase Budinger coming at him. Look at that. Got a hand in his face, kind of off balance. He turned sideways. That was a deep 3. But more importantly, that was a key 3. Boy, with just a couple seconds left on that 35-second clock. He hits that, brings ASU within 2 points.
Ty Abbott, the thing about Abbott and Harden, they're freshmen, you forget it, and they played their best games against top competition. Abbott was Pac-10 Player of the Week. He had 19 in their win over Xavier.
Right. ASU has gotten 2 players on the Pac-10 Players of the Week list, and they're both freshmen, Ty Abbott and James Harden.
All right, guys. Coaches on the sideline here. ASU, it's been the Harden and Pendergraft show, but you got to watch for Abbott as well. He's a nice third option.
It's got to be Harden. The play has to be for Harden. He's the bread and butter guy, and there he goes.
Leans in, and the soft touch, and we're tied. Fourth straight 20-point game for James Harden. We're even at 55.
If Glasser gets his hand on it, boy, that would have been a key turnover.
Buninger, the pump fake, drives the paint. McClellan from the corner. Not there. Loose ball tracked down by Harden. And they can hold for one. There's a 2-second difference shot clock and game clock. Timeout, Coach Sendek and the Devils.
Now here's what they have to do. They have to go for the last shot. Worst case scenario, they miss it and they go into overtime. You want to shoot the ball with about 5 seconds or so left on the clock. That'll give you just enough time on the 35-second clock. That'll give you just enough time if you need to get an offensive tip. If you miss it, it may not give them enough time to get down and score. And look at James Harden. Look at that. And now watch as he comes down. Look, he gets into a little, look at that. Jawing back and forth, bumping back and forth. James Harden has a lot of confidence.
Now for Arizona, they have committed 19 fouls so far. So the next team foul becomes 10, and that's an automatic 2 free throws for ASU. So Kevin O'Neal has got to tell his team, no fouls. That's number 1, no fouls. Keep pressure. At this point, you're almost playing to go to overtime, because anything else, the risk-reward doesn't pan out.
And Bob, let's talk about this. ASU has five team fouls. Now, if ASU scores, that works to their advantage because they can foul somebody and break up their momentum to the basket. But if ASU doesn't score and they have to use that foul at some point, it's going to work to their disadvantage.
That's right.
Daniel Dillon has 4 fouls. As you look at Harden, he's been the story with 21 in this game. Look at that, 17 in the second half. He can't play much better. 5 out of 6.
Arizona has to come with some different type of defense. You can't keep playing man-to-man all the time without a double team on Harden or a zone or something, because ASU has already felt out what's coming to them defensively, and they know how to attack it.
Eric Glasser, Coach Sendek, confident he won't turn it over. He's been steady at the lead guard spot. Shot clock down to 10. Abbott holding it, and here's Harden. They're going to go isolation against McClellan as they go for the lead. Harden for 3. Not there. Tipped by Pendergraft, not there. It's loose, and we have a foul on the floor. It's on, let's see, it's on ASU. Now remember, you brought it up earlier, that's the 15 foul.
That works into their advantage now because they're not on the free throw line.
Yeah, but see, the official has read it wrong. He thinks it's a 1-and-1.
No.
So you see the hold right there.
Whoa.
It could go either way. It could go, but the call.
Look at Buninger. He's got his, Budinger's got his left hand hanging on. That was Chase's foul.
I think the call was on Abbott for the kind of demonstrative move he did to get loose. But it's a call on ASU, which means there's just 16 fouls. There is no 1-and-1.
Right.
The ball gets taken out of bounds with .4 on the clock, which means that we're going to overtime.
Remember, it's length of the court in college basketball, so with 4/10, something crazy would have to happen. But what a sequence of events down the stretch, and it has been physical. It's gotten more physical as the night's worn on.
Yeah, and that's too bad. Again, I really think that Chase Buninger had his hand holding on to him. If we look at it again, there's that long shot, almost goes in. Pendergraft almost gets that tip. Now, look at here, Buninger grabs on
to Abbott.
Ty Abbott's just trying to pull his arm out.
You know, you can look at that. Is the glass half full or half empty?
That's the beauty of this rivalry, huh?
Right.
I thought a little differently. I thought like the officials saw it.
Well, he wanted that other arm. I see what Tom's saying. He wanted the other arm so he could grab it and put a shot up there with 4/10 left.
All I know is what the official called. But the black and white, they're all right with me right now.
They were looking at the replay to make sure that the time left on the clock is right, and they are going to leave it at 0.4 seconds.
Yeah, it's going overtime.
Now, Creighton Woods is into the game, the 6'8 freshman from Henryville, PA, and he's going to be the guy on the ball here as Dylan will trigger it.
Right, he's going to get his hands up, jump up and down, not let Dylan have a good look at anybody. See, there he is, jumping up and down.
Baseball pass ahead. Budinger to catch, the turn. It's an air ball. They didn't get the shot off. We're headed to overtime. How about this for the first matchup between these two? Last overtime meeting, you got to go back to 1995, a double overtime thriller won by Sparky's team. It has been fun. It wasn't pretty in the first half, but a lot of excitement here in the second half.
Boy, you couldn't ask for a better game. Number one, it's a rivalry.
Right.
You know, number two, the arena's filled. This is what college basketball is all about. This is basketball at its best right here.
There's going to be some water cooler discussions going on tomorrow.
Let's take a look at the James Harden miss here on that final possession. Had a good look at a three.
Not only that, but Pendergraph almost got that tip back in.
And I think what the official called here was to try to do a no call until Abbott kind of made that demonstrative move. Because, I mean, you can say, okay, yeah, is he over the back? Well, hey, you know, these guys are fighting. You don't want to call anything. But when he just shook him loose like that, and look, you see the official on the right side of your screen coming in, making a move like, no, okay, I'm going to let you guys fight for the ball, but nothing too outlandish.
Yeah.
Both teams have played overtime games. Arizona had a great effort at Kansas, came up short, losing 76-72. And ASU beat LSU in overtime over in Hawaii, 87-84, as Pendergraph had a big game there with 25.
And this will be a nice time for Jeff to step up again. 55-55, and you got 5 minutes left in this game.
Now another chapter added to this rivalry, and one thing's for sure, Coach Sendek really has to like what he's seen from the progress of this team moving into the conference season.
And I think the key now, Bob, is can Ty Abbott and can Jeff Pendergraph not pick up another foul and put him on the bench?
That's right.
Crucial.
That is. And will Arizona do some kind of a change defensively so Harden doesn't get a look every time with one-on-one with somebody and he can just take him? He's proven the fact that you guard me one-on-one, I'm taking somebody to the hole every time.
Arizona controls the tip. Overtime here in Tempe.
Going down.
Hill, half hook, in and out. Harden the rebound.
Good look.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. You have to go at Pendergraph. That was a good play.
Hill is 6 of 15 from the floor, but he has been a monster with 13 rebounds.
It's going to be a clear out. Pendergraph said, clear this. Bring it down to me down on the low block.
Abbott looking down low. Out high instead to Glasser. Shot clock at 7. Here's Harden against McClellan. Shot clock at 3. Harden pulls up for the 3. Short, barely through backboard with that one. Good defense from Arizona.
Well, couple possessions, nothing on the clock.
Wise cutting in there, and out of bounds. It'll stay with the Cats.
Yeah, the contrast in the first offensive possessions, U of A got a good look what they wanted. ASU did not.
And you saw that last lead, 4-2. They've evened it up, but they haven't been able to grab the advantage here on the home floor late in the game. Budinger into Hill. Double clutch move not there. Pendergraph the rebound.
Now there's a major statement by the official. We are not going to dictate who's going to win this game.
Yeah.
You guys win the game on the court.
That was a good non-call. I agree with you, Bob.
Yeah, see, but now as a player, you got to realize that, okay, they're going to let us be a little more physical because they're going to make sure we win the game on the court and not them with the whistle.
High screen by Pendergraph. Glasser rolls to the bucket block. Nice play by Hill. McClellan has it stripped by Harden, and he's fouled. It's going on Hill, and Harden somehow got in there and made the play.
Did you see the heads-up pass on that? somehow he knew Pendergraft was under the basket, and somehow he got it to him. Great play in there. But look at this. Loose ball on the floor. Now look, somehow he knows. And look at that little flip pass.
Great presence of mind.
Exactly.
And Jordan Hill has 4 now. There's a look at the foul trouble. Dillon and Hill, Abbott and Pendergraft on the ASU side. And the 2 big guys are the key guys when you look at that list.
And Harden just keeps rolling to the hole and getting on the line.
Misses on the back iron with that one. This is a guy, you know it's coming if you're Arizona, but he's just very effective. He's just a seasoned freshman, and Coach Sendek thought that's part of the reason he brought him in. He knew that he would be a guy they could build his team around. And he gets the free throw, and he gives ASU their first lead since 4-2 early in the game. Pendergraft comes out with the 4 fouls. Boateng is in. Let's see how Arizona attacks it. They've done it pretty good job going up against Boateng.
Yeah, I would go at Boateng. He might not be in foul trouble, but you know what? He has not shown that coming in and out with the offensive defensive substitution like Herb Sendek's doing, that he's into the rhythm. So I'd go at him right away.
They go into Hill. Hook shot is good, and that was a beauty. Soft touch.
Yes. Good play, good execution, good awareness of where to go. Jordan knocks it down.
And timeout for ASU here. It'll be a full timeout. Jordan Hill, you know, Kevin O'Neill said we're an average team up front when he's not on the floor. You can see why. He's so active in there, and he has a soft touch.
And again, watch, he's going to make sure he gets his feet underneath him. Nice, strong move, finishes it. Now, Herb Sendek calls a timeout. Why? To get Pendergraft back into the game on the offensive end.
Yeah,
every possession crucial.
Yeah, they need Jeff with his hands on the ball every time they do get the ball. You know, that last defensive situation, what happened is U of A brought the ball to the corner on the side where Eric Boateng was. So it brought out the big 6'10" big man outside, which meant it left no big guy underneath to guard Hill. That was a smart play by U of A.
And executed well. Now you're looking at a point where, hey, 57-56, Arizona's up by 1. You have to play like you're ahead. There's a mentality to it. There's no reason to panic when you're ahead. If you're behind, that's when all of a sudden, hey, we need one, because if it stays like this for the next 2:56, you know what the outcome is. So look for ASU to try to get the Pendergraft. There's no reason to come into the game if he's not going to get the ball. But for Arizona, if Pendergraft's out there, if there's not a dead ball where ASU can get him out of the game, he comes down the defensive end, go at him right away.
And you know that U of A has talked about that. They've got to know if Pendergraft's on the floor or not. But, you know, let's talk about it on the other side, because Jordan Hill has 4 fouls. So let's talk about it, what ASU is thinking, too. Get it down to Pendergraft and see if Jordan Hill's going to be a lame duck or if he's going to pick up an aggressive 5th foul.
That is exactly right. Somebody's fouling out.
Harden against McClellan. Out for Abbott.
Harden really has the green light.
Driving to the paint, kicks it for an open Glasser from the corner. Not there. Offensive rebound, Pendergraft. And they'll reset things. That's a big one.
That's a good look. It's not your highest percentage 3. You want your percentages to be from up there. That's where you hit most of your 3s.
Pendergraft looking back door, nothing there. Now he'll kick it out for Abbott. Harden, shot clock down to 10, makes his move, cuts into the paint, stutter step, shot good. He almost gets anything he wants. He's getting the shots he wants, and they have the lead again.
He's getting that because it's a single man coverage, man to man. There's not an offensive player that's ever played this game. If you set me up with one guy, he's toast.
He ties a career high here in his first year, 24 now for Harden. Hill inside, count it. And there's Pendergraft with 4. He's got to lay off him a little bit.
And he did lay off.
Yeah, what can he do? I mean, ASU is better off giving up 2 points than Jeff picking up his 5th foul.
And that's why both teams will be going down, trying to get one of those big fellas to sit down and just enjoy the rest of the game with some popcorn and Coke.
Seesaw battle here in overtime. Devils looking to get the lead back as we hit 1:25 to go. Arch rivals in a dandy here. It's been nip and tuck down the stretch. Here's Harden again, and he gets a kind roll, and they're back in front, 60-59. And going to the floor is Juwan McClellan. He's shaken up.
I think he got it in the nose. Now, anybody that's ever taken martial arts knows that that is the one spot. If you want to free yourself up, just go up somebody with a shot up the nose. It will make their eyes water, and it will make them sit back for a little while. So on the wide angle, you can see he's coming through, and see he comes up, and right there grazes Juwan on the nose going up. It's going to make you go down every time.
26 for Harden. The Devils in front. We hit the 1 minute mark here in overtime. McClellan cuts inside, double clutch shot, not there. Tip won't go for Hill. Arizona gets it back. Wise, a quick three. Off the mark. And the Devils have it. 12-second difference, game clock and shot clock.
And Herb Sendek is calling the double fist play. Let me guess. Probably for Harden, right? It's a double fist. You can see the double fist is because now they're sitting in a double block at the top part. But, you know, Harden's going to come out. I mean, come on.
Yep, and you can see now they're going to clear the floor. Look at it. You got 4 guys on the baseline. What that means is Harden's going to go one-on-one.
Against McClellan with 5 on the shot clock. Harden knifing in. Not there. Followed by Pendergraft. And they have a 3-point lead. Timeout. With 12.9 seconds to go.
And Harden, if you see the replay, did the same thing. When he went up, he made sure he went into McClellan's nose area that made him back up. So watch him run. He goes up right there. Ooh, right into the nose. It made him back off. The officials are going to let him play. No call. Pendergraft with the tip in. But watch out. To be so young, but he understands the things you can get away with during a ball game.
Kevin McHale made a living of that in the NBA with those sharp elbows.
See, the reason that Jeff Pendergraft got that basket is because James Harden dribbled to the basket. He drew Jordan Hill onto him. Jordan Hill's not guarding Pendergraft anymore. As soon as Harden missed that basket, Jeff Pendergraft had a wide open lane to the basket to tip the ball in.
All right, timeout ASU as Sendek wants to set the defense. You got to think that Budinger has got to get a touch here with 12.9 to go.
One of two things. If you can come down and get back in, 13 seconds, 12.9. If you can come down and get a quick shot and get a quick 2, then maybe foul, and then worry about trying to get a 2 or a 3. But if you take your time and you get around 5, even less than 8 seconds on the clock, you must shoot the 3.
Kevin O'Neal in a dogfight in his first matchup as a head coach against ASU, and this one looked like Arizona, they're up 12 in the first half, would run away with it and hide, but ASU showing a lot of character battling back.
Yeah, and you know, another thing to look at here, Bob, you've seen it done before where the defense, when you're up by 3, comes out and gets an early foul. Because you're up by 3, it'll put U of A on the line. Even if they make both, ASU gets the ball back.
Yeah, because the next foul for ASU will be number 7. You see Pendergraft feeling his emotion. I think he forgot the whole thing about being passionate. He's in the emotion now. But the next foul will be team number 7 for Arizona State. Arizona will go to the line and shoot a 1-and-1. You can't win with a 1-and-1 when you're down 3.
Yeah. So sometimes the strategy is to make that foul right away, or maybe wait till there's about 5 seconds left. Foul them when they're not shooting. Give them a 1-on-1, or give them a 1-and-1 from the free throw line, even if they make both.
Now, some coaches, like Lute Olson, have talked about this subject before. He does not believe in putting another team to the line for any reason at all. He said, don't give them any points. So we'll see what Herb Sendek's theory is on this. Do you foul, send them to the line to maybe shoot 2, and you're still up by 1? Or do you play a good defense, as you talked about a little earlier? Now, if you get down to about 5 seconds, then commit the foul.
ASU has had some big wins this year over ranked Xavier teams, starting the conference season with the wins over Oregon and Oregon State here at home, trying to go 3-0 in Pac-10 play and beat their arch rivals and snap a 12-game series losing streak. Arizona trying to tie, possibly. Wise with 8 seconds into Budinger's hands. Bumped, fall away, jumper not there. Pendergraft the rebound. And he fouled. with 1.4 to go.
Well, Jeff gets 2 free throws. He's got to hit 1. He's got to get 1 because there's still 0.5 of a second. They're going to check that. They may put a couple back on. But he's got to hit 1 because there's still that chance to throw that long ball to get it to go in for 3.
Budinger had a look well off the mark. He rushed it. Looked like he was falling back on the attempt.
Yeah, you know, it was good defense by ASU on that possession. Give the Devils credit. They came in, they fought, they overcame the 12-point deficit, stayed in the game, came up with the defensive pressure when they needed it. Consequently, Pendergraft goes to the line, and like you said, Tom, if he knocks down just one of these,
it's over.
Now, they put 14 seconds on the clock, which you know that's not correct. You know, I think that's that decimal deal. Okay, you just kind of slide it over one time to the left and make it 1.4.
There was a little bit over a second remaining, it appeared, and then it was run down to 0.5 of a second. So here they have it corrected, 1.4.
Yeah, see, there's still a lot of time for U of A to get the ball down. So that's why it's crucial that Jeff gets 1 out of these 2.
He has been good. Mentioned it earlier, 81% from the stripe this season, 4 of 4 from the line tonight.
Look at Herb Sendek trying to quiet. You never see him do that, but he's trying to get the crowd quiet.
And that should do it.
That's checkmate.
Now look at Herb Sendek. No fouls. He's got his hands across his chest, telling the guys, don't foul.
14 for Pendergraft, the icing on the cake right there, and Arizona State's going to get a big victory against the Wildcats. In overtime in Tempe, the celebration begins as they end the long streak.
It's been a long time, Trey, and we should just enjoy this moment right here.
In overtime, ASU is 3-0 atop the Pac-10, 13-2, and you think that they probably punched their ticket to the top 25 here sometime soon.
You would think so. And there's 2 polls you got to look at, but they were close in both of them. And I think you're right, Trey. After this, they should climb to end the 25 mark.
It was such a frustrating year last year. What a year so far this year. Here's Jeff Pendergraft with Jody Jackson. Jody?
All right, Jeff, with a big smile on your face, how does it feel to beat the U of A your first time in 3 years?
Feels good, man. Finally, we got one at home. For everybody here, representing the Sun Devils all day, baby, all day.
I should mention it has been 5 years, but I know for you it meant so much. Tell me about overtime and James Harden taking over this game.
Great, man. That shows that he's not a typical freshman, man. He's clutch. He wanted the ball in his hands. He told us he's going to take the game for us, and we followed him.
You guys got off to a very slow start. What changed?
Huh?
You guys got off to a very slow start. What changed in the second half?
We just knew that these guys were tough as nails, and for us to win, we had to come out with more heart. We had to earn this win. We had to come and take it, and we did.
All right, Jeff, I'm going to let you go and enjoy this win. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, obviously, Jeff overcome by the crowd here. Back to you, Trey.
Thank you, Jody. What a scene here at Wells Fargo Arena. 64-59 in overtime. ASU wins it. The next U of A game on FSN Arizona against Stanford January 17th. ASU faces the same Cardinal team on FSN just 2 days later. For Bob Elliott, Tom Kuiper, and Jody Jackson, I'm Trey Bender saying so long from Tempe. A big night for the Devils. 26 for Harden, 14 for Pendergraft, and they knock off the Arizona Wildcats here in Tempe.
Will be matched up with this man. His name, Mark McCain. He comes in boasting a 1-5 record. You see it, 11 starts, and he's got a nice strikeout to walk ratio. He's kind of been hanging out, but let's take a look at the defense that is behind him for the Tigers.